Sara was 28 years old. She lived alone in Chicago. Her apartment was on 5th floor. From her window, streets looked busy. Cars moved slowly in cold air. Sara worked at a small bakery. She woke up at 5 daily. She made bread, cookies, and cakes. She liked work but felt lonely. Her mother had died last year. Now Sara had no family left. Or that is what she thought. One evening her phone suddenly rang. She looked slowly at the screen. The name said only one word. It said the name Daniel there. Her heart stopped for 1 second. Daniel was her stepfather from before. He had married her mother once. Sara had not called him recently. She answered the phone very slowly. Daniel said her name very quietly. His voice sounded tired and old. He asked if he could visit. Sara stood still by her window. The street lights were coming on. She felt something pull her chest. She did not know what it was. Was it anger or something else? She said one word only, okay. 3 days later Daniel came knocking. Sara opened her door very slowly. He looked older and more tired. His hair had more gray now. He carried only one small bag. Sara let him inside her apartment. The small room felt even smaller. She made 2 cups of coffee. They sat at the kitchen table. Nobody spoke for a few minutes. Daniel said he left without goodbye. He said that was very wrong. Sara looked down at her cup. She remembered the day mother died. Daniel had stood far from everyone. 2 weeks later he was gone. No letter and no phone call. Sara told him he just disappeared. Her voice was calm but wet. Daniel said he was very broken. They talked for a very long time. Sara told him about her work. She told him about her life. Daniel listened to every single word. He laughed at her funny stories. His laugh was warm and familiar. Sara had forgotten that warm laugh. That night Daniel slept on sofa. Sara lay in bed staring up. She felt very strange inside tonight. But strange also felt somehow good. Morning came with smell of eggs. Daniel was cooking inside the kitchen. He wore her pink flower apron. Sara stood at the door smiling. He said she needed more food. They ate breakfast together that morning. It felt very normal between them. Too normal, Sara thought to herself. She looked at his face closely. His hands were strong and kind. He was telling a funny story. Sara listened but also watched him. She felt something move in her chest. She quickly looked away from him. 1 whole week passed like that. Daniel did not leave her apartment. He fixed her broken kitchen light. He carried bags from the store. He cooked dinner every single evening. Sara started coming home from work faster. She liked smelling food at door. She liked hearing his voice inside. She liked the way he laughed. She told herself it was company. She had been alone too long. That was all she told herself. One Sunday they walked by lake. The water was dark and blue. The wind was cold and sharp. Sara wore her long red coat. Daniel walked with hands in pockets. They did not talk very much. They just walked along together quietly. Leaves blew across the narrow path. A dog ran past them both. They laughed at the same time. Their hands were very close together. Sara felt that small warm distance. She kept walking and said nothing. Their hands touched on the path. Just for only 1 small second. Sara did not pull her hand away. Daniel did not move away either. They kept walking close together slowly. That night Sara sat alone thinking. She held her own hand quietly. This was Daniel, her stepfather before. This feeling was too complicated now. She told herself firmly to stop. But the feeling did not stop. Next morning Daniel was very quiet. He drank his coffee very slowly. He looked outside the cold window. Sara watched him think about something. Daniel said he had something difficult. Sara said, yes, tell me please. He looked at her with fear. He said, your mother and I. He stopped and breathed in slowly. He said they had many problems. Long before her mother became sick. They signed divorce papers 2 years before. They kept it very quiet then. He stayed close because he cared. But legally he was not husband. Sara stared at him very long. The kitchen became completely silent then. She asked why he told her now. Daniel put both hands on table. He looked straight into her eyes. He said he had feelings for her. He needed her to know truth first. He said he could not hide it. Sara stood up and walked away. She walked slowly to the window. Chicago was gray and quiet outside. She pressed fingers against cold glass. She thought about her mother carefully. She thought about old family dinners. She thought about Daniel helping her. He helped with homework long ago. She thought about crying after funeral. She had cried far too hard. Too hard just for a stepfather. She slowly turned around to face him. She said she had feelings too. She said they scared her deeply. But she said they were real. Daniel stood up from his chair. He walked slowly across the kitchen. He stopped very close to her. He looked at her so gently. He said they could go slowly. Sara said yes, slowly is good. He nodded once and took her hand. Outside, snow began to fall softly. Small white flakes hit the glass. Inside the kitchen everything felt warm. Two people held hands and began. Spring came 3 whole months later. The city turned green and bright. They walked every evening by lake. They talked about everything between them. About the past and the future. They laughed a lot together now. They cried just a little sometimes. They became very close to each other. One April evening Daniel cooked dinner. Candles were burning on the table. There were flowers in a vase. Sara came out in white dress. She saw the table and stopped. She put her hand over mouth. Everything looked so beautiful that night. After dinner Daniel got on knee. He held a small silver ring. His hands were shaking just slightly. He said she was most beautiful. He said he could not live without her. He asked her to marry him. Sara looked at him very long. She felt no confusion this time. She felt only warmth and clarity. She said yes 1,000 times. He put the ring on her finger. He stood up and she smiled. She held his face in hands. Outside Chicago evening was gold soft. The lake was shining far away. Life had taken very strange roads. It had taken long hard silences. It had taken very difficult truths. But it brought them here together. To this kitchen and this moment. And that was more than enough. The end.